Hey guys, it's Caitlin here and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing another speed build that was actually inspired by the tropical resort competition that Devin Bumpkin just ran on his own channel. Now I didn't enter that competition or anything like that, but I did see his little announcement videos for the winners and the runner-ups. Congratulations to those of you who came runner-up and those and the person who did win. I apologize, I don't actually know the person who won, and I don't know one of the runner-ups. However, I am subscribed on YouTube to Sugar Plum Sims, Belle Guru and Unigina, who all came runner-ups, and I have seen both Belle's and Unigina's resorts, and they are, you know, they are awesome. They are so cool. I haven't seen the video for Sugar Plum Sims. I don't know if she recorded it. I can't remember if I asked her if she recorded it or not. But yeah, if she did, I'm keen to check that out as well. And you guys should check all of those ladies out there. All fantastic builders. Me personally, I prefer to watch builders over let's plays and things like that. So when I come across builders I really do like their videos and their content that they're doing, and I also enjoy listening to them, because I think a big part of enjoying people's videos is the interaction that they have with their audience. Like, you know, they're chatting to us, and I enjoy being able to listen to people chat and things like that. That's one of the main reasons I do actually continue to watch videos as well, just because I enjoy so much being able to sit there and listen to people just ramble on like I'm rambling on right now. But yeah, anyway, actually, yeah, also I have one more little announcement that I want to make, and that is that we reached 100+ subscribers over the past week, and I just want to say that I'm so grateful to all of you guys who watch my channel and who have subscribed. Your support means so much to me. I have been wanting to reach 100 subscribers for a while now, so now that I've finally hit it, it's like a little bit of a milestone for me. Like, I've seen that I've been able to achieve it, so now let's make the goals a little bit bigger, I guess. Let's see if I can try and aim for higher, because to be completely honest, I didn't even think I was ever going to reach 100 subscribers. And to be completely honest, I still don't think I'm going to get much higher than that. I mean, I have a lot of self-doubt about it, but I don't know, in a way it helps me to create more goals for myself, knowing that you guys do like, well, I hope you guys like my content, and I hope you guys like listening to me talk and talk and talk. But yeah, I don't think there's too much more to say about that, except I do want to do a you know, like a little celebration video for 100 subs. I'm not too sure yet what I want to do. I have an idea, but I haven't made my final decision yet, so we will see. And if you guys want to check that video out whenever it'll come out, then just keep your eye out for that one. I am actually doing a lot of hours at work at the moment, so I'm trying my best to keep up uploading videos to my channels. I'm trying to get things done on my days off, sometimes in the afternoon after work. Most of the time I'm just way too tired in the afternoon to do this, because I also have other things that I need to do at home as well, not just my job and stuff. But yeah, it's going to be a challenge to try and keep up with everything now that I'm getting more hours at work. But I really want to try my best to create a good balance and make it all work and do something that I think will work for me. And I may have to actually create a schedule. The only reason why I haven't is because I feel that it might be a little bit difficult for me to keep to the schedule just with work and things, because that changes. My shifts are never the same each week, so it was just easier for me to upload when I have the time, and all of those, you know, all of those kind of things. But I'm going to try my best anyway to get as much content out each week as I can. I'm aim for at least 2 to 3 videos a week, and yeah, hopefully you guys decide to stick around longer with me. I'm so glad that you guys have been on this journey with me so far. And yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, that this build was inspired by Devin Bumpkin's competition. The build itself was actually also inspired by a resort that actually exists. And I've personally never stayed at this resort. I visited it, but I've never stayed at it. My auntie was staying at it though, and I went and visited when she was staying there, and it's such a nice resort. It's actually located on one of the islands that I'm from. So, okay, how do I explain this? I'm probably not explaining that too well, but like most people, I'm sort of a half caste. Like, I'm a mix of a bunch of different cultures, and I've got so many different ethnicities in me, but I do associate myself with three main ethnicities, and that being European, Māori, New Zealand. And if you don't know what Māori, New Zealand, it's basically the indigenous people of New Zealand, just as you have the American Indians are the indigenous of America, and you've got Aboriginals as the indigenous of Australia. Māoris are the indigenous people of New Zealand. So yeah, first and foremost, European Māori, and also Cook Island Māori. So that's obviously the indigenous people of Cook Islands. And if you guys don't know or have never heard of Cook Islands, I wouldn't be surprised. So many people actually have never heard of it. Usually the people who do hear of it tend to be usually in Australia and New Zealand. I think that's mainly because they're closer to Cook Islands, and there's a lot of Cook Islands living in both of these countries. So yeah, I think that's why people further on the other side of the world probably don't know as much about it. But basically, it's a little group of islands. There's about 15 islands that's located somewhere in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and yeah, it's literally invisible on the map. So that's why I don't blame people for not knowing where it is. It's so small that you cannot see it, and it's funny because not only is it small on the map, but it's also 15 different islands, so you can imagine how small each island is. This island that I am from is called Aitutaki. I can't remember all of the islands off the top of my head, but you've got Mangaia, you've got Achu, you've got Rarotonga, which is basically like the main island, or I guess you would call it the capital. Like you have capitals of a country, you'd call Rarotonga the capital of the area, except we just call it the main island because it's an island. I think there's one called Palmerston, and there's some others there that I honestly can't remember off the top of my head. Mokau, there's another one called Mokau. Is it Mokau? No, I think that's wrong. Scratch that. I don't think Mokau. I totally got confused there. Mokau is actually a place in New Zealand. Yeah. We'll just scratch that. Okay, so what was I going on about? Yeah, so this one is from Aitutaki. It's a really nice little resort. It's probably one of the fanciest on the islands because you've got quite a few resorts on the island, but there are two that are quite fancy, and this is one of the fancier ones. Or you've probably got about three, I think, actually. But this is probably the second fanciest, I would say. But yeah, so basically, I grew up in Aitutaki. Well, no, sorry, I didn't grow up in Aitutaki. I lived in Aitutaki for 1 year when I was 6 years old, all the way back in 2002. My dad is a teacher, and he was taken over to Cook Islands, Aitutaki, to teach, to try and help improve their teaching system over there and teaching what knowledge he had and what kind of curriculum New Zealand sets for the students in school, over in New Zealand. So that's basically what he was doing, just trying to come in and implement some of the learning procedures and things like that in the Cook Island schooling. And he travelled between the different islands doing that. But the main island we lived on was Aitutaki. My mum's dad is actually from Aitutaki, and my mum and him are living over there at the moment. The last time I was over there was in 2014, and I must say, you know, for a 12-hour gap, I remembered everything quite well, because I really do. Like when I got there in 2014, I had this, you know, this image in my mind of what the island was going to look like, because, you know, I remember it as I would have as a 6-year-old, and I was really surprised because everything was exactly the same. Nothing had changed. My memory was basically just as clear as it was as I was 6 years old, and everything was in the same spot pretty much. So that was interesting, although I guess it's not too much of a surprise in a way, because it is a really small island. It's very underdeveloped. You know, internet is crap over there, and all of those things. I actually want to go over this year for Christmas, hopefully, to go and see my mum and my granddad. I actually call him Koko, but if I said Koko, you guys aren't going to know what that means. So I'm just calling him granddad for you guys, but pretty much I want to go and visit them, maybe spend Christmas with them if I can afford it, of course. And I have been interested, if you've been watching some of my earlier videos, I've been talking about doing vlogging and how I want to do vlogging, and I'm really hoping that I can get into it before the end of the year. And if I do, I really want to take you guys along with me and show you my little island. I mean, I know I didn't exactly spend a lot of my life there, but you know, it's still part of me and who I am, and a lot of my family lives there as well. And yeah, I actually do have a couple of little experiences that I think I want to share with you guys, about me living and, you know, visiting my little island of Aitutaki. So I think let's start off from when I was 6, when I was a little kid living on the island. So we had, because it's a pretty simple life over there, so we had, you know, we kind of lived simple as well. We were actually staying in a family member's house that nobody was living in, so we lived in there for a year, and they don't really have supermarkets. They have convenience stores, but they're hell is all expensive. They're so expensive because everything obviously has to be imported over, or is it exported? Imported, I think. Yeah, everything has to be imported over to the island, so everything's much more expensive. They go by New Zealand currency. They do have their own currency, but for whatever reason they use New Zealand currency. Can't remember the reason, but they use it anyway. So yeah, when I was younger, most people, they own chickens, they own pigs, they have farms, because the way things work over there is you don't purchase land, you get given it by birthright, or it gets handed down to you, and yeah, so you don't have to pay for the land, you don't have mortgages or anything, you just go, basically what you do is you get your piece of land, you build on it, and you really only have to pay for the electricity and the water, and that's basically it. So it is a pretty simple life. Pay wage is really, it's not great over there, but like I said, you don't have to pay for mortgages and things like that. It's just really electricity and water that you've got to pay for, so it is cheaper living. And because they have convenience stores, you know, they're limited on what kind of food you can get, so that's why people tend to own pigs and chickens and things like that. They go fishing, just so they can, you know, provide themselves with their own meat, because they do tend to eat their animals. The pigs are not pets. I'm sorry guys, I know if you guys are vegetarians, I'm sorry, but the pigs over there are not pets. We had a pig called Lucy, and because I was only 6, I did not understand that we were basically raising her for slaughter, I guess, because the plan was to have her for Christmas dinner, and I didn't know that, but apparently now my mum tells me that, she tells me the story of when it came to Christmas dinner, we were eating our pig, of course. They didn't tell any of us that, like any of me and my siblings, that it was our pig. She just, like, they said, oh, we're just taking her away for something, we're taking her to uncle's house or something like that. So we're like, okay, we no clue what's going on. And then we were having pig for Christmas, and my mum told me that we were just, while we were eating the pork, I looked up at her and just said, oh, we're eating Lucy, aren't we? And my mum, she felt so terrible, because even though she didn't tell me, and they said, like, none of us kids knew that that's what it was, for whatever reason, I sat there and I said, we're eating Lucy. So for some reason, I knew that we were eating our own pig. I can't remember if I ate it. I mean, I probably did, because I was only 6, so I wouldn't have understood anyway. If I did, I don't think, I mean, I'll be honest, I like pork, but I don't think if I had a pet for a year, I don't think I could eat it. Even if I do like pork, I don't think I could eat it. I feel like it would be the same principle of eating a cat or a dog. I just couldn't do it, because in my eyes, it was a pet. It was supposed to be part of the family, not something that ends up in our stomachs. So yeah, I mean, of course I ate it, but like I said, I was only a child back then. So yeah, so that's the first story. Story number 2 also involves the pig while she was alive, of course. And this is kind of a funny story. Hopefully we don't have any younger viewers who understand what this means, but when I was young, I decided I was going to go outside and go and have a little chat to the pig, because I used to do that. I used to go and talk to the pig. We also had some stray cats that I used to talk to, and my parents didn't like us talking to them or like touching them, because they had heaps of fleas and all that stuff. Because there were loads of them. There were probably like 12 or something, because there were kittens and big cats and stuff like that. But anyway, I went out to talk to the pig, and like, I think there were people over at our house at the time, and I just remember running inside screaming. I was screaming my head off, and they're like, what's wrong? And I was crying as well. I was like, it's Lucy. And my mum's like, what's wrong with Lucy? And little innocent 6-year-old me said, there's another pig on top of Lucy. And I said that to my mum, and of course I didn't know what that meant, and my mum ran outside and she shooed the other pig off, and she didn't tell me. She's just like, it's okay, Lucy's alright, there's nothing wrong with her. But in my head, I saw another pig attacking our pig Lucy. I guess that's what 6-year-old me thought. Now I look back on it, I mean, if I had a 6-year-old come up and say that, I'd probably laugh. To be completely honest, I would probably laugh, because they're a kid and they don't know what's going on. But back then, it was not funny to me, not one bit. I was traumatized, pretty much. So yeah, that's story number 2. I don't really know if these are funny at all, but I'm going to share them anyway. I think they're funny because I'm the one who experienced them, but for you guys, it might be a little bit more difficult to find it funny, just because you'd have to visualize it and everything like that. But yeah, anyway, story number 3, we had a fridge that was full of crabs. They were alive, because what happens is at full moon, a lot of crabs come out of their homes and out of their little holes and things like that. And so it's the best time to go crabbing, and my dad used to take my sisters. I wasn't allowed to go because I wasn't old enough, but he used to take my sisters and they'd go crabbing, and they'd come back with a bunch of crabs, and then they'd put it in this fridge, because this fridge was like broken and we just had it lying flat on the ground, so you kind of open it like a big freezer type thing. And so we open it, put the crabs in, give them bananas, give them coconut, water, I guess. Do crabs drink? I don't know. I'm going to say they drink, because I'm pretty sure all living creatures need some sort of water, because even plants need it, so I'm going to say they drink. But yeah, pretty much we had some crabs, and we decided to have some crabs for dinner, and I was helping my dad clean them. And usually what we do is, I can't remember how we actually killed them, but you'd rip off the claws and stuff like that, and you know, after you've ripped off the claws, they kind of still move. Like the crabs, I guess it's their nerves or something like that, they're still moving and things like that. So I was helping my dad wash all of the claws and things. I was holding this one claw, and then it like pinched my finger, and I started screaming because, guys, it really hurts to be pinched by a crab. At least if I can remember correctly, it really hurt really badly. Of course, I was 6, so that doesn't help. But yeah, I think I was screaming and crying, pretty much, running around with a crab claw stuck on my finger, just like wailing my hands like you'd probably see on a movie. Yeah, that's all I remember. I can't even remember anybody coming and taking that crab claw off of my finger. I mean, obviously it came off, but I don't remember really what happened. But yeah, I also do have some more funny stories, but I don't think I'm going to share those ones. Those ones are a little bit more disturbing, I guess, as disturbing as it could be, because it involves some nasty substances along the lines of, I'm not going to say, but yeah, pretty much I'm just going to dodge that whole little subject, even though you guys don't really know what I'm going on about, but yeah. Okay, our fourth story. Now, our fourth story comes to 2014 when I am visiting Cook Islands. I was actually there to take my nana back home because she had passed away. So we took her back there to be buried, because over there people bury their family members on their lots or on their pieces of land. So that's what we did, because that's where she wanted to be. She's actually New Zealand, but she wanted to be nearer to my granddad. So yeah, that's why she wanted to be there, because he's the one who is Cook Island. But yeah, pretty much we went there for a week, and while I was there, I hired a scooter. My uncles took us to hire a scooter, and I only had my learner's license over here in Aussie, because usually, you know, when you go to a new country, you can just show them your license and they'll transfer it to one of their temporary licenses for a visitor or something like that. So when we went over there, my uncle said, okay, when we go to the police station, because you go to the police station to do this, when you go to the police station, don't say anything. Don't tell them that you don't know how to drive and that you're just a learner. Just let me do the talking. So I was like, all right, okay then. So we headed into the police station, got some money out from the machine, because it's $2.50 to get a yearly license, or if you want, you can get a license that lasts for 5 years for $10. So here I was getting my $2.50, and I'm like, here uncle, here we go. And he goes, put that away, it's $2.50, I'll just pay for your license. So I'm like, okay then, which is kind of funny, because I guess it is funny, like it was only $2.50 and I'm like trying to pay for my own license. But anyway, long story short, I got given the license, went down and hired a bike, and then we had a little bit of a lesson on how to ride the scooters, and they're actually not that difficult. Me and my sister decided to go and explore the island, and basically we went to our old house, we went to our auntie's house, and just everywhere that we remembered and all of those things. And I must say, my memory was a little bit, like some pieces of my memory were a little bit patchy. I had remembered things differently to what they actually were, but that's okay. I mean, I was pretty on point with everything else, so it's pretty, I did pretty well, I think. But yeah, so that went all great. We had a good time, and then later on in the afternoon, when we were back home, my mum had asked if I could go down to the store and go and get something. So I was like, yeah, okay, but I didn't want to go by myself, because I was kind of a little bit shy, and nervous that I'd run into somebody that I knew from when I was a kid, because I wouldn't know what to say, like, oh, hey, remember me? So pretty much I didn't want to go by myself, and I managed to talk my brother into going with me. Now, my brother is quite tall. He does, of course, being a boy, he does way more than me, by a significant amount, I would say. And because he was too young, he couldn't ride the scooter, so he had to jump on the back, because I had taken my sister on the back and my mum on the back all day on the scooter. So I was like, oh, it's okay, I can take him on the back. If I can take them, I can take him. and I'm very small, like I'm short. I'm about 157, and I'm pretty, I think I'm pretty light. I'm about 50 something kgs. So like I fluctuate a lot between 50 and 55, like I always fluctuate depending on what I'm eating. So yeah, somewhere in that range. I was probably, at that time I was probably about 52, I'd say, or something like that. And yeah, I decided to chuck him on the back of my bike, him being about, I think maybe 20 or something kgs heavier than me. Chucked him on the back, and as we were leaving the property, there's this little tiny mound of dirt that just me alone on the bike, I found it difficult to kind of ride over it and, you know, remain the balance on the bike. So when I had my brother, it was very difficult because he was like squirming around on the back because he wasn't comfortable. And then going over that little mound, exiting the property, it was really difficult for me to regain balance. Actually, it was pretty much impossible because we crashed right outside the property. We hadn't even gotten on the road, basically. And it was pretty funny because I was super angry, and there was like some locals that came along, like they saw and they're like, oh, okay, and they stopped. And because I was so frustrated and angry about it, I stormed off and just left the locals with my bike. Of course, we were right there because the house was right next to the road. It was literally right outside the house. My sister saw it, my koko saw it, my mum saw me crash, my whole family basically saw me crash. So yeah, that's that story. And the funny thing about it, that's not really the funny thing. The funny thing about it is I was worried that I wasn't going to get my bond back. I was also worried that I was going to have to pay a fortune to get this bike fixed because of course it was a rental and usually they'll make you pay. But my uncle, when it came to returning the bike, my uncle told me to say nothing and he'll do the talking. And he came back with my bond, and I would say it's quite bad actually what he did, but it's also it makes for a funny story. So when he went to go return the bike and he showed them that the bike was broken, he basically told them that the mirror, because I broke the mirror and I broke the basket. If I can, I'll insert a photo somewhere along here, if I can even find that photo. But yeah, he basically told them that the mirror and the basket were both loose, and I was driving along and they literally just fell off by themselves. And he also said the scratches that was all over the bike, which doesn't make it obvious that I crashed or anything, he told him that they were already there. And funnily enough, you know, the story ended up being believable and they believed it, and I got my bond back, and that was the end of that story. I don't know, it's just so, to me it was funny because how do you not notice that a bike was in completely good condition and then you believe something that one person says that it was all loose and you just get the bond back? Like, I don't get how that happens. But I guess it's the island anyway. They're not really big and strict on road rules or anything like that. Like, you see the policemen driving around on their motorbikes just with a blue shirt on, barefooted, no helmets, just cruising along. That's what life is like there. People just cruise in the back of utes. Very laid back life. Like a lot of, you know, other islands as well. And I know they do it in other countries like India and Philippines and, you know, those kind of countries. And they just pay, you know, barely any attention to the road rules or anything like that. But yeah, that's pretty much the stories. We're actually coming up to the ending of this video in a couple of minutes, so I hope you guys, or maybe a little bit longer, maybe about 4 minutes, I think. Yeah, probably about 4 minutes. But I'll try and insert, you know, a picture of I would insert a picture of resort itself, but there isn't really a good picture of it. They're all just like a whole bunch of jumbled up little photos. Sorry guys, I just burped, which is really gross, but I don't think you guys heard it, so it's all good, I think. I'll probably listen back to this now and be like, oh my gosh, Caitlin, why did you tell them that you burped? But it's all good. Everybody does it. Some countries it's like considered good, so let's just pretend we're in one of those countries. But yeah, I have lost my train of thought, guys. I have really lost it. I can't remember what I was saying. I think I was, yeah. well, I can't remember what I was saying, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue by saying thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you like the look of this resort, because this is as close as I could get it to the original. I pretty much just copied and pasted each room because I had them look exactly the same. As you can see, there's a pool out the front, there's like a cool overhang over the beach, kind of an overhang balcony, which is really, really cool, which they do have. A glass box bedroom, which they also have in this little resort. And yeah, I tried my best to get it, you know, basically as close as I could as possible. The fish tank, the little fish tank that I stuck in the middle of the lounge there, that is not actually part of the real resort. That's just something I put in there because that is actually like a split level in the real resort, and I didn't really want to do a split level because that would just kind of complicate it a little bit. So I went with that cool little idea of the little fish tank wall, and I thought that was kind of cool. So I hope you guys think it was cool as well, and I really do hope that you guys enjoy listening to me talk about random crap every time and random stories that probably aren't even funny when I think they are. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to give this a like and hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel already. Also hit the little bell symbol as well to receive notifications for when I upload videos. Anyway guys, thank you so much, and I will speak to you all soon. Bye!